ensure that the refineries are working optimally. Do you think that's a good move? Because the second thing is, we've always argued, and we are still arguing, that NNPCL or government itself does not have any business doing business. I may not agree with that, but some of you have argued in that direction. And NNPCL is looking at it and say, you know what, we're not going to do this ourselves, so we don't have, the refineries crashing in the nearest future. So we're going to look for good operators who can operate the refineries. Now, the question then is, over the years, one of the reasons I believe that the refineries have not been able to stand the test of time, or sustainability has always been an issue, is because it's run as government owned, and government owned institutions always look out for the people. So if it's going to be run by a private entity who is looking at making profit, how then will the refinery impact on the economy of not just River State, not just the South, but Nigeria at large? And that's a conversation that I would like to have with you. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that one. What you're thinking about that report where the NNPCL says it is looking for private entities, private operators to, run the Port Harcourt refinery. And, people can start bidding and all of that stuff. But let's read part of that report. Remember, the report emanated yesterday on the Punch newspaper, as published today. It reads, as the Port Harcourt oil refinery comes to life, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has concluded plans to hand over the government refinery to private operators. Now, the NNPCL said it was seeking to engage reputable and credible operations and maintenance companies to operate and maintain the Port Harcourt refining company. This, it said, was to ensure reliability and sustainability towards meeting the nation's fuel supply and energy security obligations. Now, in a publication on its website on Monday, the NNPCL said the contract scope shall cover refinery business processes like long-term and short-term production operations, planning, production and operations execution, monitoring, reporting, optimization of operations, maintenance execution, health and safety, environmental management, minor projects and others. So, like I said, it's going to be run like a private business, even if it is owned by NNP. Maybe it's a part concession, something of that nature. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on this very one. Remember, you and I once had the argument sometime April, May, June, July last year. Was it even August? I can't remember. But we had the argument about whether we should privatize the refineries, given how much it is consumed in terms of rehabilitation, in terms of trying to run the refinery. And now NNPCL is tinkering on the idea of partly concessioning the refinery to private operators. I'd like to get your view on that one. But let's quickly move to the next one. Something related, still has to do with the oil and gas sector. But I'm struggling to understand if this is good news or bad news. And that's where you come in. Because according to reports that, broke not too long ago, a few hours ago, Shell is looking to selling its Nigerian onshore oil business. Some newspapers put it at 2.4, is it 2.5 billion dollars? That's how much it wants to sell it for. And we know Shell is one of the major players. Shell PL, is it what they call it now? SPDC now, I want to believe. They are one of the major players in the oil and gas sector. And we've seen other major players divest from the Nigerian economy. We have been worried about all of these divestment, and now Shell is coming out to say, hey, we have completed or concluded agreement. We're just waiting for the approval of the federal government. We are willing and ready to sell our onshore business, and we want to sell it because we're looking at metamorphosing our business style and capacity and structure. I'm wondering what this means for the Nigerian economy, how this will impact our oil production and oil revenue, because you want to put all of that into consideration. The country is looking at boosting its oil production, one, so that we can feed our refineries, two, so that we can meet OPEC plus quota and increase our revenue and strengthen our naira and reduce inflation. I mean, it has a ripple effect, I should tell you. But what could have been the cause? Is it the poor economy that has made running a business expensive? Could that be the case? If that is the case, could we ask them to give us a little bit more time, like a boyfriend whose girlfriend is about to leave? Should we beg for a little more time? Is that the case, or could it be that our attitude over the years towards the oil companies, always demanding what we should have demanded from government, always demanding what we should get from government? Could that have been the reason why these oil companies are leaving, and now Shell is leaving? Could that be the reason? Could all of these arguments about social corporate responsibilities and host community funds and all of the things that we're asking for all the time, and all the times we try to picket their offices or block their offices or take them to court. I'm not saying we're wrong, I'm not saying we're right. Remember, I'm just reeling out the situation for us, to bring it to the fore, so we can have a quality debate. And I'm going round and round so we can be thorough in our analysis in the end, right? So when you look at all of these things, when you look at all of the things that have been happening over the years, between the communities, between the indigenes and the oil companies, could that have been the reason why these guys are running? Or could it be that the oil and gas, or rather now the oil sector, let's remove the gas now, the oil sector is no longer as lucrative as it used to be? I'm removing the gas because Shell is not leaving the country entirely. It's going offshore, where it will focus on gas production, I believe. And it's also going to continue partnering with NLNG to boost, gas production in Nigeria. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's metamorphosing its business structure. However, how will this impact the economy, the already battered economy of Nigeria? Although they say the new company, which is a consortium of various Nigerian companies and I think a foreign company, all of them together trying to run the structure, will maintain the staff and management of the current SBDC. But the point is, will they have? I'm not saying they would not. Would it be the same? I mean, so many questions in my mind. We've seen other companies buy of, former major players in the oil and gas sector. Has it been the same all this while? The people and the communities having the same impact like they would have had if those major players who used to be here were here? Some of the things in my mind are like your answers to. Well, we'll come back from a commercial break. I've got one final big story to bring your way, and that has got to do with the president. The president yesterday at Imo State said, if you want to japa, no problem, we will train more people and Nigerians should not bother. As a matter of fact, we will even train more people and send them abroad to help those people because they don't have enough people. We'll be right back. Just stay tuned.
to hard facts.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, yes, you joined the right station and at the right time. This is 92.3 Nigeria Info, and right now we're having hard facts. And I am Kala Dakurubatubo, and we're looking at the big stories. We've got big three stories. I've reeled out the first two, and the first two were one. NNPCL is looking for a private operator that can manage the Port Harcourt refinery. Are you thinking that that's a good idea? How will that impact the economy of Nigeria? Will it be run as a private company? Remember, yet again, it belongs to NNPCL. I don't think NNPCL is selling the refinery, but it's going to be managed, some kind of concession, so to say. It's going to be managed by, the private operators, and the company is asking for them to bid. What I'm gleaning from that report or from that statement by NNPCL is, one, that the refineries are almost ready, or the refinery, I should say, is almost ready. And they're looking to maintain it, and they're looking to sustain it because they may not have the capacity to do so. What's your take on that? The second big story that I reeled out, similar to the first one, it still has to do with the oil and gas sector, but this time Shell is leaving the shores. And not entirely, because it's still going to be offshore, but it's leaving its onshore business. It's looking at selling it to some company, a consortium of companies. It's called the Reconas? I have to check that. I can't remember the pronunciation and the spelling at the same time. But hey, they're looking to sell it, and it means that they will be moving their business, from onshore to offshore, where they'll focus on gas production. How are you taking that one? What do you think could have been the cause? Is it how difficult it is to run a business in Nigeria that may have been the cause? Or do you think the attitude over the years, how we've settled our cases, our differences, and when I say our, I'm talking about the Niger Delta citizens, the communities, and these oil operators, these major oil operators. Remember, Shell is not the only one. The other time we were talking about, was it Ajib? The other time we talked about Chevron. We also mentioned, there's another one we mentioned not too long ago. I'm trying to remember the name of the company. But yeah, the major oil players are leaving their onshore businesses, selling it off, and they're looking at going offshore. So, offshore on the waterways, who's going to drag pipelines, or who's going to drag, all of these facilities with them? Offshore, nobody's going to be busting pipelines, right? So it may not affect the cost of their businesses and all of that stuff. So to the third big story, I was telling you before I went on that break, went for that break rather, and I was telling you that President Bola Tinubu has asked Nigerians not to be worried about the mass exodus of young professionals to other countries. Now, he made the statement in Imo State during the second term inauguration of Hope Uzodinma. And he said more Nigerians will be trained to fill the vacancies left by those who have jackpot, so to say. And if the other countries want to even still come and collect more, they will train and give them. Okay, let it not be that I'm telling you some super stories. Let's take a listen to what the president had to say yesterday. So I'm just going to look for that sound bite and get back to you. Yeah, here is it.
I assure you, there will be substantial development in the education of your children. You will see the priority in industrialization. Healthcare will receive more allocation and more attention. Don't worry about what you're hearing about the japa syndrome. We will train more people, and then we can supply them safe.
Sorry, I'm laughing. He said we can supply them. So maybe that's not a bad idea. What do I mean by not a bad idea? Maybe, what do you call it now? Exporting human resource can also be a source of revenue for Nigeria. How do you see that, right? But what do you make of the president's statement? The president seems to have this confidence in the better future, or would I say a good future for Nigeria, he has this confidence. And so whenever he comes out to speak, he says, "Don't worry, it's going to be better. Don't worry." Usually he starts with "Don't worry." It's going to be good in the future. It's going to be better. He usually will say, because when you look at inflation, inflation is. Like I mentioned yesterday, 28.92%. Food inflation is above 33%. So it means that Nigerians are going through a very tough time. I mean, tough times right now should be what the theme in Nigeria. And he keeps saying it will be better. Don't worry, we'll train more people. Don't worry, even the japa thing is for the good. But maybe if you look at it from the angle, the perspective of the glasses half filled, then maybe those people who have left, will give room for more people or new people to be employed, because unemployment rate is high, right? I'm just saying. But let's get your thoughts. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. Those are the call numbers. You can add this one as well, 0817-923-0007. But for WhatsApp, let's use this number, 0809-030-6416. I'd like to hear what is on your mind. I'd like us to continue to talk for development and push it a notch higher. Remember, like I said yesterday, when I started the show, I beg your pardon, don't let your fire abate. Not fire to heat up the polity, no, fire for the conversation, for development. Okay, so the phone lines are blinking. I can see the phone lines blinking, and the call screener is doing the needful. So I just quickly jump in the messages on WhatsApp. Let's see. This one says, "Oh my, the WhatsApp is hanging." So I get back to that one. Clinton from Bury, welcome. Clinton, what is on your mind?
Thank you, Kalada. Good afternoon.
Yeah. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I will start with the statement of Mr. President on those japa.
Okay.
I take it in good faith. The president means well for Nigeria.
Okay.
It's not a bad thing to export human resources. It means that we have
a lot
quality people, talented people in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they are all looking for greener pastures. The bone of contention there should be, when they get there, they should come and invest in Nigeria. And that's where the government comes in, by providing a better environment where they can come back and invest after making money from this book. So I think it's a good one.
Okay.
Then on our refineries being given to private firms to manage, I wonder, why didn't these private firms build their own refineries from the scratch, like Dangote did? Why would the Nigerian government have used taxpayers' money to renovate, to rehabilitate these refineries? Then you give it up to them. Now, Dangote refineries, would these people be selling the PMS on acquisition at the same rate with Dangote refineries to Nigerians? That's another thing to look at for. Because if it was a government-owned refinery, we'll be looking at them selling at a more subsidized price.
But then again, Clinton, you're re-echoing, the troubles in my mind. But the question is, would you want a sustainable refinery that is working, or want the refinery to give very cheap prices and it crashes in the near future?
Why not give it for Nigeria to spend billions of naira?
Okay.
On the one we have? Why did they come and invest like this from somebody? Now, remember, this money that we use to rehabilitate this finance, we have Nigerians both taxpayers' money.
Okay.
I wish by here, at the same rate, from those don't say, but if they want to show that to get free.
Thank you very much. Gon Kabari from Ruko Nekabari. Welcome to my mind. Good afternoon. Okay.
We have this. It's
Robert, welcome on the show. Good afternoon. Okay. Okay.
whoever, somewhere you want to travel, you want to see. But the government should provide them like 5 hours here.
Okay.
So, you know, the hotel, but the government was bidding for the connection. So, now, this is advised for company that will actually manage the refinery. I don't know about that. There can be action and the people. What will happen every 6 months when the breakdown field arrives?
All right. Thank you very much. That's on what's good afternoon. Shots lead Nigerian are exited and companies will join soon, and the citizens are carrying on without even thinking for a second what they do. Nigerians were serious people. The streets would have been occupied by now. Nothing is working in Nigeria, but Nigerians seem not to be ready to end this evil style of leadership. Do you know how many shipping companies that will lose their contracts? Do you know how many seafarers companies will sack because of this loss? Very pathetic. Clinton from Onelga. So I think I have a call, from the UK. I'm going to try taking the call. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see. This one says, wow, so many messages pouring at the same time. Kalada, greetings. The condition we are today, Nigeria is not friendly for millions of Nigerians. Anyone that sees way to jackpot should not look back. Just straight enter a plane and leave the country. Our so-called leaders have damaged our economy. Canada, no joy in Nigeria. Those that jackpot a few months ago are counting their blessings. Okay, Tango, thank you. I've got Hector from Ogbogoro, and after that, JJ from Port Harcourt Township. Hector, welcome. What is on your mind? Please tell me.
Thank you, KD. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you.
Yes, the statement credited to the president. The government should know that a lot of people live in this country, and some of them are not living because they really want to live. But they are living because they have no option. Look, Nigeria is a country where society performs for itself almost everything, and it is ascribed to the government. In a country that is well governed, I believe that poverty is something to be ashamed of. And in a country that is badly governed, I believe that the wealth is something to be ashamed of. It is unfortunate that these people, this government, have nothing to be ashamed of. Now, we are hearing they want to sell off the refinery.
It's not selling. They're not selling it off. They are not privatizing it. They just, come help us manage it. That kind of situation.
Oh, come help us manage it. Who are the people to manage it? Nigerians or Chinese people or foreigners?
Does it matter? Does it matter what
that is going to manage it, or they are going to bring their studies to manage it, and we continue to weep? How far the NNPC? Have they not privatized NNPC partially? Have we gotten things right?
Okay.
We keep on going back and forth.
All right. Thank you very much. JJ, welcome.
Good evening. Yes.
It's afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Oh, what do I know?
You know it's afternoon.
Let me start from
Go ahead.
the NNPC. Canada. I think they should even.
Are you there, JJ?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Yes, I think the NNPC on Facebook solely is in endorsement.
I can't hear you clearly, JJ. The line is cracking. The line is cracking. It's terrible. Oh, sorry about that. Do call back if you can, and let's get your thoughts. Let's see. I do have this person trying to call me. Okay, so I'm trying to connect with someone on WhatsApp, so just stay tuned for a while. Let's see. Okay. Femi, can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you now, Femi.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, very well.
All right.
Yeah, good afternoon. I just want to say, like your last caller just said, it's very unfortunate that the president should say, if you want to leave, you should leave. No country wants their best talent to leave. You can't retrain a consultant. You can't retrain an engineer of 10 years.
Okay.
Those ones, you cannot replace them.
I see.
And as for the refinery, If the government knows they cannot manage the refinery, they should sell it. Do you know any company that specializes in managing refineries?
You never would know. Maybe these countries are out there in the world. Maybe they're companies rather that are specialized in managing refineries. What do I know?
So, and they'll just send their talent from one place where they're working and then just come to Nigeria and manage our refineries. It's a joke to even think of that. If they can't manage it, they should sell it. Simple.
So
maybe make their money.
So maybe the oil companies, the major oil companies that have even divested, maybe one or two of them can help us. Maybe they know how to do it. They know how to get by. Maybe that's what they're thinking. A lot of maybes now.
Maybe. Were they not thinking this when they were redeveloping the refinery?
Yeah.
They were not thinking about managing it. I mean, if they know they are incompetent at managing these things, they should sell it.
Okay, so
it won't work.
So you feel they should sell it?
They should sell it, and let everybody knows where they stand, because that means government will keep interfering, even if they appoint people to manage it. They can fire them.
Okay.
And put in their boys, so it won't work.
I see. All right.
Best to sell it.
All right. Thank you very much, Femi. It's good to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Nice to hear from you. Yeah, no problem.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to everybody too. Bye.
All right then, yeah. Okay, keep your calls coming in. Let's read some. This one says, sell off the refineries from my point of view is okay. Davidson. Oh, you're saying they should sell it off. Okay, a lot of people say sell it off. Let's see. Good day, presenter. On the refinery, who are these reputable operators that will run the Nigeria-owned refineries? Our political leaders should divorce greed from governance, particularly in the management and marketing of the process from the Port Harcourt refineries. Nigeria have overbearingly suffered for too long under petrol scarcity and in the hands of selfish private petroleum marketers. Let Nigerians breathe this fresh air. Elder Joel Adolphos from Degema with that one. All right. Let's see. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Kalada. I don't have faith that President Tinubu will do what he said. If he would, it will reflect his take-off day. I don't think he has the interest of Nigerians, having done nothing to ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians in lieu of his obnoxious removal of fuel subsidy and his nonchalant attitude to the plight of Nigerians. He can say all he did to the Marines. A fine face, Unye Awaji, Ingo Town from Andoni. All right. Or in Andoni. This just says, good afternoon, presenter. Well, what is the president even saying? That our best brains are leaving the nation, best doctors leaving this nation, leaving us with quacks, and the president is saying it's good. It's a shame. He's saying we'll train more people and even supply them, to the abroad, like we say in our parlance. He's saying he would train more people, give them more skills, and I don't know. But like Femi, who called from the UK, said, I don't know how you want to give 10 years of experience to someone. That means the person would have to work for about 10 years, right? I don't know how you want to give, a consultant experience to someone who has just joined, the profession, so to say. For people like me, you wouldn't compare, me to the likes of Cyril Stober, for instance, who've been doing this for many years, right? So you want to think about it from that angle as well. And so if all of them are leaving, who's going to direct? Who's going to manage? Who's going to, develop the new talents that are popping up in the various industries and in the various sectors? So maybe there is that argument as well. But how do we go about it is the question. But this one says, afternoon, who would be the private operators, or who would the private operators be? Are they not going to be Tinubu's cronies, just as he sold Ajib company to his brother? That's an allegation. Come on now. That's an allegation. I didn't see that. I shouldn't have read that. But going forward, you said Niger Delta people should not keep quiet while Tinubu continues to exploit us. Talking about Shell, this is not the first time of that threat. DK. All right, thank you. Ida from Inkoro, welcome.
Kalada, good afternoon.
Yeah, Ida, welcome.
Kalada, the president said to me, I don't welcome him because somebody is now find what is happening and try to solve that situation. Just like rain is falling, you're bailing out the water instead of you to deroof that place and roof it for you not to build water. You wait for rainy season. They wait for people start building water. Now they want to train more people, and those people that are going over train for 20 years, They asking somebody. That's it. I'm welcome.
Okay.
And this refinery matter said don't supposed to do Uber. It's supposed to be back where sitting in a police. I don't know, talk like this. I think you went to the book and things go better. I'm not think they be like this soon. My brother, I don't tire. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, Ida from Ikoro, thank you. Jude from Amuma, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you. Welcome.
Shell to sell its onshore operations
Yeah.
to go into the deep sea. I think Nigerians, we are in for a deep trouble.
Okay.
Deeper trouble.
Okay.
Because what we see, because they are going to be in of the and then we are producing less than 12 because we by the time we see, we'll be less of it.
Maybe there is that need of being, you know.
I'm coming with a new company.
Okay.
Selling what we call marginal fuels.
Okay.
Then we have marginal fuels in the for 5 years. We don't have the capacity. I tell you, we have to do this. Those are marginal fuels and not inside those words for this year. And now, she's very onshore. Going to other companies. Then because I think it's a very big trouble. Everybody nobody will blog facility, but we go down around the what our company is going to be like.
All right then. All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your thoughts. And see what I'm going to read something from news articles. The name of the company I'm looking at is and it's on social 5 made up of 4 exploration and production companies in Nigeria. Also one and let's see. According to the archives now, its statement for reserve is the capability for the benefit of management systems and processes that SPDC implements on behalf of all the companies in the SPDC joint venture. So maybe we would have to companies what they plan to do, what the verse means, especially the country. While we're waiting for the second 987930008193003. Okay, let's leave a message if I'm waiting for the lines. Considering privatizing the refinery. Is it change the lower skills and find the highly reputed Nigeria that have not run? I also use this game to defend also advertise the country. That's too much to start from his president 6 o'clock fest in Alaska. Has been sarcastic there. Hey, Michael, you're welcome.
Welcome. For the refinery, as I said before, or not like I think then that so that's and at the end of the day, what happened? If they don't what you have those they now right. And from this year they overplay, they are built as plan. They won't be Africa so they didn't pay them much money. They are pushing the committee like because they low to be so 5 to go back to selling. They also want to get their money, but not to wait for the end of the day that they will make money because they don't sell and just wait. Oh, I mean, I will update for what the after this they are update for. One is for come for the additional maintenance, not the month. And this one, what you should improve because the power element. No, let's now people are just with them to run the so that I can produce the right now. So that definitely it will be a new feeling. For you and therefore what they do right now, trying to wait for their office. But they are robots. Their factory they don't the government that will every day. These to produce so many your point to export now 1.5. This is government that will take care of that. So I follow whatever they want to do. So long as follow it there. If you check very well, it can be fire in Nigeria. Okay. Because they fit because I didn't get up to, for instance, they will charge for $1 million. So let them pay to whatever produce.
All right.
This one they are right now.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. Let's see some messages. This one says, good afternoon, Kalada. Sukari from Akinima. I want to say that Mr. President should stop lying to the people. We have already a budget provision for health. He's saying he will be sending a supplementary budget to the NASA that the health sector will get more allocation. This ruling class won't do the needful. They keep chasing frivolities. Got to help us. This one says, my brother, what Mr. President Tinubu is saying is doable if there is sincere commitment. Why did I say so? There are so many countries that are trading with the issue of japa symptoms. A country like Netherlands, etc., train and give them out as businesses. Okay, Aminu Sule. All right. Thank you. Let's see. This is good afternoon, Canada. Government should also get top foreign managers for the police and judiciary. Eric Chooks with that one. This one says selling the refinery is the best. God, they tell me. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Kalada. In regards to the statement from the president that political leaders here in Nigeria are not always serious, do you know it takes a minimum of 7 years to train a medical doctor? It takes 6 years to train a lawyer. That means in the next 6 to 7 years, we won't have any best hands in this country because there will be in training. God help us. Ambassador Faithful from Ngwaba. I've got Matalaye from Eleme. Matalaye, welcome. You've got about 60 seconds. Yes, quickly now, please. Yeah, good afternoon to you.
The statement by the press is irresponsible.
Why is the statement irresponsible?
Yeah. The reason why I said so is because did you know that there is no, even our president, our senators, none of them used to go for medical attention in Nigeria. None of them.
Okay.
So when they say they are going to export, they are going to even export them, they are going to train them. They know that if all these medical doctors leave Nigeria, it will not affect them. It is you and me that will not go to abroad to take a medical checkup that will suffer. Then they will not suffer because they have the money.
Okay.
Yes,
I understand it.
Now, secondly, for airport refinery, I am from Element. And if you come to Element, where the Port Harcourt refinery is, everything they are doing there, that they are rehabilitating, is nothing.
All right.
Yes, I have been there. Now, did you know how many years they started this rehabilitation process? I'm telling you now that this thing will not work even up to now. This is third stage, oh. It's the third stage.
Okay.
I have been there. I used to go there. They are doing nothing.
Okay.
Yes, because the money they are even paying is much.
But when
are they doing there?
Matalaye, when you say
they should sell it. They should sell the refinery. They should sell Port Harcourt refinery.
I've got to go, Matalaye. But when you say there is nothing happening there, your words is at variance with what people who are supposedly experts in the field have said on the show over the past few weeks and the past few days, and they say that it may come on stream anytime soon. But I've got to go. Up next, like I told you, advertised not too long ago, we'll be focusing on the oil and gas sector. We'll be looking at Dangote's refinery and the impact on our economy and so many other issues. We'll still look at Shell leaving. We'll still look at the Port Harcourt refinery. We'll add all of those to the conversation. So do stay tuned. We'll be right back.